So I finally have both in my hands. I have the RG35XX as well as the Miyoo Mini Plus, and today we're going to be comparing these and see which one is the ultimate budget handheld emulation device, whatever you want to call them. Both of these have a ton of cool features that I'm gonna be showcasing, so let's not waste too much time. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's see what's actually included, and of course the packaging. In the RG35, we just have the simple instructions. We have a glass screen protector, we have the charging cable, and that's pretty much it. Hopping into the Miyoo Mini Plus, the packaging again is very simple. Comes with the instruction manual as well as the cable. It comes to a SD to PC adapter, which is pretty nice to customize your games, and both include wipes to clean your screen. Now we're hopping into the look. The RG35 looks pretty simple. We have the A, B, Y, and X. We have select, start, the D-pad, the menu button, as well as the volume on the side and the 4 trigger buttons on the back, which everything looks pretty good. On the other side, we have 2 SD slots as well as the power button. Now the Miyoo Mini Plus, again simple with the A, B, Y, and X, select, start, the D-pad. We have the menu button in the middle as well, and of course we have the triggers in the back as well. Again, very simple look. Cool thing on the RG35, it does have the HD port, so you could put your HDMI and put it to your TV, monitor, etc. Hopping into the home menu, the RG35 is very simple. You have the games, the history, the search, and the settings, as well as your favorites. And yeah, it's a pretty simple look, pretty much exactly like the Miyoo Mini Plus. On this one, you have 2 SD, so there's an external card and a built-in card, which is pretty cool. And there's a ton of games. I'm pretty sure the selection is very similar to the Miyoo Mini Plus. As you see, all these PS1 games, they pretty much have every popular PS1 game on here, and on this SD they have 147 games. But like I said, there's 2 SDs on this system, so there's multiple games on each SD. Hopping to the game selection, you have arcade games, Neo Geo, pretty much everything. Game Boy Advance, NES, Super Nintendo, very similar to the Miyoo Mini Plus. There's a couple things that aren't here. Like on the Miyoo Mini Plus, there was a whole genre of a game selection where it was all shmups. I think that was a cool little touch for shmup lovers, but other than that, looks pretty similar. And diving deeper into the PS1 games, because I feel like PS1 games on these portable systems are one of the most impressive consoles, because you have a portable PS1 essentially. Like I stated, it has 147 games on the external card, but on the internal card, it has another 56 games. So if you add that up, it's about 200 total PS1 games on this one system. So yeah, with the ability with the double SD slots, I think it's really cool, and I definitely think it's really customizable, because you have 2 different SDs. You could put certain games on this SD, certain games on that SD, so you could definitely customize it better on the RG35. Hopping into some gameplay, I went ahead and picked a fighting game because I want to see how that D-pad feels, and looking at it, we're hopping into some Tekken, and look at this, the gameplay looks good, it doesn't feel bad, the D-pad works phenomenal, so even if you're playing a game like a fighting game, you're gonna have no problem. And of course, if you want to hop into the main menu and exit the game, you simply press the menu button. You have the option to exit game, save game, load game, restart game, and you have another couple options like vibration, BIOS, etc. So yeah, it's a pretty simple one, and you're back into the main menu. And looking at the Game Boy Advance selection, there's a ton of games. As you know, Game Boy Advance games are very, very small. So if we check how many games are on this one system, and this is just on the external, you have 909 Game Boy Advance games. So you have plenty of games to choose from. And hopping into some gameplay, of course, the screen looks phenomenal. It doesn't look as good as the Miyoo Mini Plus, but we'll talk about that later. Hopping into some gameplay, we're gonna hop on Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. As you see, the colors look pretty solid. The D-pad feels good on this game, and as you see, I'm using every button possible to test this thing out, and everything feels good. Everything is very functional, so I have no complaints. Hopping into the SNES collection, just like the GBA, SNES games are very, very small, so I expect pretty much majority of SNES games being on this one handheld. And as you see, we have almost 1,500 games. So not only is this SNES, this is also the Famicom, so it has Japanese games as well. And as you see, the colors look good, the gameplay as well. Again, really no complaints on the Super Nintendo games. And looking at the history, just to make sure everything looks good, as you see, all the games that I just showed are right on this list, so you won't have any trouble if you're looking for a game that you're playing in the past. And a cool feature the RG35 has is the search feature. You could legit just type in whatever game you're looking for, and as you see, I'm typing in Kirby, and you will see on the left side a ton of Kirby games pop up. So I definitely think it's a cool feature to find whatever game you're looking for. Next, let's go and dive into the settings of the RG35. As you see, we have the battery settings, voltage, changing current, etc. We have the simple shutdown button if you don't want to use the side power button. We have the date and time, of course, very simple settings. Next, we got the I/O test, which you can go ahead and customize your buttons if you like, as well as test the buttons and make sure they are all functional as they should be. Next, we got the button sound, which really isn't that important. Next, we got the icon settings, which you can hop in here and change the look and feel of your game icons. So you could change them. They're all customizable. You have a list of about 10, I believe, different icons you could choose from. And yeah, this is a cool little customizable feature the RG35 has. Next, we got the background settings, which allows you to change your background. You can have it on black or dark mode. You can have some customizable ones. As you see, they don't have too many options, but they do have some options. And as you see, given a look in the main menu, it looks pretty good. Next, you got the backlight time, which allows your system to automatically lower in brightness when you're AFK or not using your settings. Then they have the brightness, which this is the brightness you will always see. They have level 1 through 5. I'll probably stick to about level 3 or 4. 5 is way too much, and obviously 1 and 2 are just too low. Next, they got button customs, which you can go ahead and mess around with your joysticks. Then they got the clear in history, which allows you to essentially clear your history. If we give a look at the history, as you see, all my games are not there, so clear in history definitely does work. Now we got clear favorite records, which I'm assuming that's when you favorite games. You can clear those out as well, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything the RG35 provides. Let's hop into the Miyoo Mini Plus. And before we talk about the Miyoo Mini Plus, if you hold the power button, it does give you a little message, goodbye. Next, we got the Miyoo Mini Plus, of course, and as you see, the main menu is pretty similar. We have recent favorite game. We do have RetroArch on the Miyoo Mini Plus, which is a good addition if you want to go ahead and stick to RetroArch instead of just using the basic game that is provided with the Miyoo Mini Plus. As you see, we have a bunch of the same selection: GBA, Game Gear, Neo Geo, Game Boy, etc., Famicom, all of the above. So the game selection console wise is pretty much the same as the RG35. People do like to use RetroArch, so it's just another option the Miyoo Mini Plus provides, and it's a cool little addition. RG35 has pretty much every Super Nintendo game as well as Famicom, and it's pretty similar to the Miyoo Mini Plus. And hopping into some gameplay, I do think the color on the Miyoo Mini Plus looks slightly better. Gameplay wise, it's pretty much the same. The D-pad feels the same, the buttons feel the same, and all around it essentially feels the same. If you press the menu button, we have the continue, save, load state, native menu, which you can go ahead and change the resolutions, net play, which has to do with some Wi-Fi features that the RG35 doesn't have, but it's really not needed, to be honest. And then of course, you got exit game that will put you right back to the main menu. Now, giving a look at the PS1 games, because that's probably my favorite thing on these handhelds, and as you see, they got all the bangers on the Miyoo Mini Plus, just like the RG35, so I'm very happy with that. And hopping into another fighting game, we got Marvel versus Capcom on this Miyoo Mini Plus, and the colors, I'm telling you, the colors on the Miyoo Mini Plus just pop. But hopping into some gameplay, the D-pad feels great, the buttons feel phenomenal, and similar to the RG35, the buttons, when you play a PlayStation game, it's in the same format as a PlayStation controller. So B is X, A is circle, X is triangle, and Y is square. So I like that little ability that these systems have. They format the buttons specifically for the system game that you're playing. And like I mentioned earlier, on the Miyoo Mini Plus, you have a whole selection only of shmups. So like I said, this is a feature that the RG35 doesn't have, but I definitely think it's a cool little genre that the Miyoo Mini Plus has. Next, let's dive into the settings of the Miyoo Mini Plus. There's a good amount of settings. Of course, you have the simple power off. You have the brightness, which allows you to obviously change the brightness. Instead of only going to level 5, 1 through 5, you can go 1 through 10. So you have a little more options when it comes to your brightness of your system. You have the Wi-Fi, which, like I said, I mean, it's cool, you know, it's cool, but I don't really think you're going to be needing Wi-Fi on these handhelds. Next, you got the color, which again has to do with the screen color. So you can change the saturation, the contrast, the hue, the illumination, a little bit of everything. So again, just more customizable features that the Miyoo Mini Plus has. Next, you got the key map, which allows you to change the buttons. So if you want R to be L, you want A to be B, you want Y to be A, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could change it on this menu. Next, we got the themes, which is definitely much better on the Miyoo Mini Plus. They have way more selections, and it's just more customizable all around. You even have some anime things. As you see, we're using this one, and look at how cool this looks on the Miyoo Mini Plus. The RG35 simply doesn't have these options, and the themes on the Miyoo Mini Plus is miles better. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Miyoo Mini Plus. That is the full comparison between these two handhelds, and honestly, I wouldn't say there's really a clear winner. It honestly depends what you want to do. I feel like the Miyoo Mini Plus is a little more compact. I do think the screen is slightly better. And other than that, there's really nothing else. Of course, the customization within settings is better as well. But when it comes to the RG35XX, it does pretty much everything it has to do. Honestly, I think the HDMI port is a cool feature because you can plug it to your TV and play as well. I don't really think you have that ability on the Miyoo Mini Plus. It really depends what you're trying to do. If you're on the go most of the time, I think the Miyoo Mini Plus is the one for you. The RG35XX is more of it's definitely an on-the-go system, obviously, but if you want to sometimes plug it into your TV with the HDMI, you definitely have that option and you can enjoy it on your TV. If I had to pick which one I'm gonna go with, I have to say the Miyoo Mini Plus. I just enjoy the screen slightly better. I like the customization better, and it's more compact, so it's even better in your pocket. In a system like these, I would pretty much only use it on the go, but that is just me. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Do you prefer the Miyoo Mini Plus or the RG35XX? I'm very curious what y'all have to say. Hopefully y'all are enjoying these handhelds as much as I am, and I'll go ahead and see y'all next time.